Hello, 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 and good morning. It is so wonderful to see you. My name is Zoe Baraka, and I am coming to you live from the Dear Daughter um, page. I was about to say website. I am prophesying because we're about to have a website. But yeah, I'm coming to you live from the Dear Daughter page, and it is Tuesday morning. So obviously, the show is To My Younger Self. Listen, I cannot see you. So please, please, as always, I want you to go in there and hit in the comment section, say good morning, say hello, tell me where you are watching me from. Tell me anything you want to tell me, share a story, anything at all. How are you doing this morning in Kenya, in Ghana, in Nigeria, of course, in the US, the UK, Afghanistan, Russia, wherever you are, I want to hear from you. Okay, once again, my name is Zoe Baraka. It is so, so wonderful, wonderful to see you. Today's Tuesday, February 9th, and believe it or not, it is snowing. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Good morning, Abena. Good morning, Laura. It is so wonderful to see you guys hanging there with me. And we're going to jump right into the storytelling time. Today, I have an amazing, amazing guest storyteller. Her name's, well, she says to call her Caro, because that's how we say it back home, right? So I'm just going to call her Caro. I'm going to try to roll my R's into it. By way of introduction, let me say this. You know how everyone kind of needs a destiny helper, a person that kind of picks you up? I'm going to call her my bounty picker-upper. For those of you who know what a bounty is, you will know. This young woman is, I don't want to, put me into tears so she feels bad so she's not able to tell a good story. But picture a young lady in a city where she knows nobody and doesn't have a church or a community at all, doesn't know where she's going. Life has beaten her down to a pulp. And this young lady, by the way, was me. I was like down to nothing, out, didn't want to talk to God, didn't want to talk to anyone. I was so angry with life at that time in my life. Enter Caroline. And in her own love and just consistency and persistence, you know how someone loves you, but you don't want to be loved. And you're just like, no, I have had enough of this. Stay all the way over there and leave me here. This lady will drive me to anywhere I needed to go, pick me up, give me money. Yes. You don't hear that. Whatever I needed, she was there for. And never, ever did she ask for anything from me. And she would pray for me. She would say, listen, there's a program here. I'm going and I'm going to take you. She is an amazing, amazing picker-upper. I wish every young woman in life will have someone like Caroline. And I'm going to stop here because as you can see, my voice is choking. So I'm going to stop here and let her come out of the green room and tell stories. The reason why Caroline is here telling a story is because To My Younger Self is a space where we tell stories to ourselves as a community, as friends and family. So this is what we're doing. We're just telling stories, weaving a tapestry of stories for each other to help each other grow from our childhood. Okay, so without further ado, here is Caro. Hello, Caro. My dear, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm blessed.
So
Thank you,
wonderful to
sis.
see you.
Such a blessing. What an introduction. Wow.
Um, I don't have words. You can see I was stumbling through it all. I really, 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 really wish I could say everything I wanted to say. Uh-huh. How are
Oh,
you, my dear?
I'm good. There's some people who can't log in. What do I
Yeah,
need to do?
we're gonna share a link
Okay.
pretty soon, and then
Okay.
they should be able to log in.
Hmm.
I'm gonna need you to also I'll share it on your page for those of you who friends of Caro. Please just go on her page. I'm gonna put it on there the moment she jumps into her storytelling time. And yes, we're gonna go into the storytelling time. So, like they say in the music industry, hit it, sis.
All right. What a blessing. What a blessing it is just to know you. And I remember Pastor Ed introducing me to you at picnic
So that's
at
where it
Redeeming
was. I
Love.
was
Yeah.
thinking about
We were
that. I
ending
said,
the
"Oh, who
picnic,
introduced me?"
the church picnic, and all of a sudden it's like he came running and he had you and one of your friends, and he's like, Caroline, I wanted to meet this lady, Baraka. And we
That's
met,
where
and
the
all of a
connection
sudden it
was.
started to pour, so we had to run out.
I remember that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Pouring
And then,
blessing.
uh-huh. And then later on, I met you in church, and afterwards, he yeah,
Oh my God. I really
yeah,
thought about that. I said, where did I meet Caro? Where? I know it was church, but how? Well,
right,
thank you for that remembrance. Now go
yeah.
into the story, sis. Let's do it.
All right. Um, my stories are based on. Let me lower my volume on my phone. My
Sure.
story is based on being insecure
Hmm.
as a child,
Okay.
as a teenager. I was very insecure. And because of that, it really affected what I was doing. I always had to prove myself because of that.
Hmm.
And I was always looking for affirmation.
Hmm.
So my stories are based on that.
Okay. All right.
And
Let's go into the first story. Come
yeah,
on. Get it.
so my first story, I come from a large family. We were 7 children.
Wait, is that a Kenyan thing?
We are
I know
blessed.
another family that has like had 7 children. So,
We
all
are blessed.
right.
One mom,
Yes,
one
you are.
dad. There's
Wow.
lots of love, plus my cousin
Wow.
Anna. So
Wow.
we were 8, plus mom and dad, nine
Wow.
of. So every night we sat on the dinner table and we
Mm,
ate together as a family.
wow.
And my dad or my mom would pick one of us and share a story about you,
Mm,
and we'd laugh about it. But remember, I was insecure. So whatever positive thing you say about an individual, I took it to heart. My
mm,
elder brother, um, I'm number 6 in the family. So
wow.
my elder brother, I think he was already in university by that time. And I just saw him once in a while when he came home.
Mhm.
My second born brother was into sports. He was a great basketball player. He was lifeguard, swimming. We are like, who goes swimming? I mean, but he did. He went to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. So when you talk about such things, you're like intimidated.
Mm,
My third born brother, he was a great soccer player. He went out doing competition soccer in different locations. He was really in the neighborhood, and
mhm,
he was also an artist. So I saw things within my siblings. My fourth born brother was into Boy Scouts. He was always going out camping. My sister, so we were 4 boys, and then the girls came last.
mhm.
My elder sister, she was always number 1 in class.
Oh, Lord.
She's the kind of person you're taught this, she got it.
Mhm.
It's easy. And when she's teaching you, she tells you, that's simple. That's simple. It's easy. It's easy. You're like, and I'm the kind of person who I have to read, I have to read, I have to read, I have to write it, I have to read again. So it was frustrating. And then
Uh,
I have my younger sister who in class, their teacher was so good and taught them how to do multiplication. So I'm in third grade, she's in first grade. She knew how to do multiplications before me. So
mm,
that again was like, oh my God, it doesn't matter what they said about me. I just saw this positive things in my siblings, but I didn't see anything in myself.
wow.
And it really hurt me. And I was insecure and ready to fight and defend myself and anything.
Mm,
So you have boys in the family, and they're always making fun of us. They're bullying my sister. I want to fight on her behalf. She wasn't a fighter. My younger sister, they bully her. She runs to dad. I'll fight for her. It's okay. Like
Wow.
I'm always there on your face and loud. So mom would hear my voice and obviously she'd call me and be like, "Hey, come and do this." I'm like, "Oh no, 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 you call this one." No, the way you call this person, the first one, "Come, George, Patrick." Nobody's answering. And then she hears me when they're pushing me and I'd be screaming, "Ah!" And she'd tell me, "Oh yeah, yeah, you come here, I hear your voice." I'm like,
Mhm.
"You call this one first." So it was always that arguing and insecure. Now, take this insecurity and take it to school.
Mm.
I've already now in school, you're good at math.
Right.
And anything that we were taught, I got it.
Mm.
But the teachers in school, they still beat you when you got wrong, according the same as the person who got 30%, and yet you got 85 or 90%. And they're like, you could have done better. So
Wow.
that again pushed me to be insecure. And, it's just like piling up on it.
Right.
Like, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I was good at sports. I do 4x4 relays, 1,000-meter race. I was in number one. I was in number two. I was number three. To
Okay.
me, and I represented the school because we were competing with other schools. But
Mhm.
it wasn't good for me because I was in number one.
Wow.
It was just like, oh, when can I be number one?
One.
I want to be number one.
Wow. How did you break out of that? That's ridiculous.
So,
Wow.
in class, we had this English teacher walked in and she ended up telling us to read a paragraph. And the paragraph was about a family. And she told us it was simple, maybe one paragraph about a family. And she said, we'll answer it together.
Mm.
But I was so intimidated, I didn't have time to read the paragraph. I went to the question.
Mm.
And I answered the question the way I thought should be right.
Right.
It's an English composition. It's about a family. Who's your dad? I know my dad, Daniel. I wrote down Daniel. Who's your mom? Marciana. I wrote down Marciana. I didn't write about what was being said in the paragraph in the story. So when the teacher said, let us all answer these questions, I was the only one out of 28 students who had it wrong. And the class laughed.
Yes.
The class laughed. And the teacher asked me, can you read that paragraph? I read. And she said, so you don't have a reading issue. You don't have a reading disability. What is it? And I just said, I was intimidated.
Mm.
You already gave us a time frame. And then there are students in class who are so smart, like my sister.
Right.
Quickly, they read so fast. I don't read fast. And so she told me, no, 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 don't do that. Go at your own pace.
Wow.
And that just like, whoa, you mean to say? She said, yeah, I know the exams are like an hour and a half. Take your time. Some people don't finish, and yet you answer them right and even have a better grade than the person who rushed through it.
Right.
So that to me was like a poof, light
That
bulb.
was the light bulb.
That was it. And but my mom was a teacher, so she went and told my mom. And when I was passing the teachers' lounge, I had the teachers' laugh and I had my mom's laughter, and I was like, "Oh dear, the story is coming home."
Wow.
But my mom, I'm not sure what she did, but I remember her starting to bring books home, storybooks, Hardy Boys, Nancy Drews for me
Oh,
to read.
yes.
And because reading wasn't my cup of tea, I
Right.
gave my neighbor to read and she told me the story and I told my mom.
You're really thoughtful.
So
Wow.
that's why nowadays I'm like, when I met you and here you are so eloquent, and there was a time we were going to Boston and you're with Jackie and you're talking stories because the two of you love to read
Right.
books,
I
see
remember
documentaries,
that.
and I'm driving listening to you and I enjoyed it. I wasn't intimidated and I was like, wow, that thing didn't bother me anymore as an adult. But as a kid, I'm like, what was my
Wow. But look
issue?
at you now. Thank God for teachers like that, though. Thank God for
Exactly.
them.
So now I
Wow.
sit back and I'm telling my younger self, you are worth it. You matter. You are smart. You are bright. You are brilliant.
Wow. Wow.
Don't be intimidated by other people's talent. Focus on yours.
Wow.
You are an athletic girl. I mean, Focus on that. Train yourself. Be good at it
Uh-huh.
because you represented the whole what is it, primary school.
Cool. Right.
That was a big thing. And they took the best. So I was among the best. It's like,
Yes.
come
You
on,
want
celebrate
the
that
best
moment.
out of the best.
Exactly.
See,
So you
Abida
get to
says
learn.
you are smart. And I think she's right because for you to actually be able to say, hey, you read, tell me the story so I can go tell mom, that was
That's right.
resourceful. Wow.
Because mom came home and I mean, we'd sit at the table and we'd laugh. And afterwards, they tell you, yes, the good, the bad, and the ugly, but at the end, there was love. And
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
I know you have a story concerning dad and some kind of a little bit of a discipline. I think I want to jump right into that story.
Oh my goodness. So here was the how I looked down upon myself and I was intimidated by other people.
Right.
And when we played sport, I was very aggressive because I wanted to win.
Hmm.
Girls were not competitive, so I wanted to compete with the boys. We played games like bladder. That was like you take the inner part of the tube, the tire, and you cut it, and then you tie it around yourself, two people, and you jump in and out. It was more like we were acrobats.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember those. I couldn't play them, but
rounders is more like softball here in America. We were a community. We played games.
mhm.
So being competitive, I don't know what I say to the boys, and they decided to challenge me on a race, and I was in for it. I was ready because I will prove to you I can do it. So I ended up the race. They say the next day we are having the race. Apparently, that race wasn't the road. Usually, we used to play on the road. We'd run from one end of the street to the next. But
Yes.
we chose the race to be on the roof of the house. I, I, and I accepted. You think of it. Here we call them townhouses.
Mhm.
At home we call them bungalows, right?
Yes. Oh my God,
Then
true.
you have the second floor.
Yes.
So we are on the roof on the second floor. I don't know
Right.
even how we climbed on the roof. And then the roof is not flat; it's act like this,
Yes, it's like a thatch house. Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
And we were running. So we have 10 houses joined together, and then a space.
Hmm.
So our house was number 9, and then there's another house, and then there's a space. The space was wide enough. It was like, wow.
Right. You can jump and
I mean,
fall into it.
exactly. So here we are running on the roof. All you hear is da, 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 da. And my dad was inside the house, and he just had this uneasy feeling in his belly, and he just got out. He couldn't sit still. He came out, he looked outside, and he's like, I don't know what it is. He looked up and all he could see was his daughter running on the roof. And when he looked at the next house, that's the end of the house. And the way we are coming running, like someone will fall. And if we are falling, you don't know if we'll die or what it is.
Oh my
My
God.
dad shouted my name. He screamed it from his belly. I mean, we were running. All of a sudden, I froze.
It's
I
like a cartoon movie. Like,
I turned around. I was all by myself. It's like I was there alone. There was nobody. All the guys disappeared. They didn't exist.
oh my
I
God.
started to shake. I'm like, I'm gonna die. He's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me. Today I'm dying.
Yeah. And fathers, yo.
He called me. He said, "Calm down." I'm like, I can't. I'm shaking. I'm sweating. I don't know if I peed on myself or what. I said, my dad went, he was a mechanic, so he had gadgets. He went and got the ladder, came and put it up, and he held onto it.
Get up there to be.
I don't know how we got there, but I did. And I was proving to the guys something. My dad held onto the ladder and he encouraged me. I came down, but I started to shake. And then he told me, okay, you're on the first floor now. Get on the roof on the first floor and rest a bit. And he had to pull back because I could see he's shaking. He is pissed. So he told me, we have walls around the house and they were high enough close to the wall. They will build walls due to security. And he was like, use the wall to come down. And then he put the ladder close to it. And
And
I'm like, I'm dead. I'm dead. I I was so scared I could not even hold on to the ladder. So I grabbed onto the window for the downstairs toilet and I came tumbling down with the window.
Oh
I
my.
have no idea if I hit the floor because my dad grabbed me and took me to the garden. In the garden, we had fruits, trees, guava tree. He
Yeah.
grabbed the branch and whipped my ass.
And then,
You should have heard me, heard me crying. He's
oh,
killing me. He's gonna kill me. Oh my God! Somebody call my mother. He's gonna kill me.
oh my God, we are so dramatic.
I'm dead. My friends, the guys ran. They
Oh
just
my
came.
God.
They're like, stop! Don't kill her! Don't kill. The more they talk, the more I scream.
Oh,
He's
wow.
getting irritated. So my mom, they called my mom. My mom came running. I could hear her. Now, when I heard my mom's voice, I started crying more.
Oh
He's
my God.
gonna kill me, run.
Oh,
My dad is like, I'm gonna give you something to scream. And he begged me. Believe me, I'm the only child in that family my dad laid hands on, and they remember it. So later on, my mom took me upstairs and gave me a bath, and then she fixed me up. That was dad's medication: Vicks headache, Vicks stomachache, Vicks whatever, Vicks period pain, Vicks.
everything fixed.
So she rubbed me with Vicks,
Oh
and I
my
went to sleep, and I could hear voices. When I woke up, dad was there. I froze, and he was like, "No, no, no! I need to explain to you what I did."
God.
He
Uh-huh.
said I was not ready to lose a daughter.
Oof.
He's like, when I saw you, what hit me on my belly shook me to my core. And he's like, I wasn't ready. He's like, I screamed. I said, you didn't scream anything. You screamed my name. And me being a chatterbox, now I'm defending myself like I always do. And he's like, don't you get the message? I'm like, you beat
Yes.
me. He's like, you beat, if you cared, why did you beat me? He's like, I don't know, but I had to teach you a lesson. I'm like, what?
Yes.
That wasn't fair. The boys did. And he's like, what? So he talked to me about it.
Yes. Oh my
He
God.
talked to me and encouraged me. And he told me, next time anybody tells you something and you know it's out of the order, come home and talk. And I was like, you? I'd go to mom. And then I think, no, my third born brother would even kill me now because he would find out I was out there doing all this. I'm like, no, he's good. And he said, no, nobody's going to beat you. I'll talk to them. And I saw my dad's love heal me from being insecure. Um, when I went outside to play, when we played with the boys, it was no longer about being competitive. We just played like kids.
Mm.
We had fun. And that really helped me. And what I got out of it, and I was thinking even the song that Sinach sings,
Mhm.
I know who I am,
Yes.
right? And then she said, shout it out, declare it, believe it.
Mm.
And that's what it is. You have to know who you are. And then
Wow.
it goes to say, I know who God says I am, what he says I am, where he says I'm at. I'm walking in power. I'm walking in miracles. I live a life of favor. I know who I am. That
Wow.
it's an affirmation of who
Oh,
you are. You cannot be intimidated by people. You're good at what you are. Hey, shine. Be good at it. Work on it. Let them deal with their issues.
yes.
Right.
My
And it
God.
reaches the point where I celebrate you because of what you do. I can't do what you do, but I know what I can do.
And I can't do what you do. Nobody can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So as a result of that, just to my younger self, it's like, be you, girl. Shine. You are great at what you do.
Yes, you are.
I was a leader even as a child, as a
Mhm.
teenager. I was being pulled to be a leader. We were doing acting. I wasn't reading my lines. I waited for my sister to repeat those lines. I
Mhm.
waited for my neighbor Alice, who was so smart, to repeat those lines. And
Yeah.
when I pick on it, and my mom would be like, "Here," she'd give me the paper, read it. Like you had to push me to read. And then I'd read it and immediately I knew my lines. I was
Yeah.
Mary when we were playing the birth of Jesus. I was Mary. My sister wanted to be Mary. She wasn't. Sorry, Lorraine, but I was the oldest. I was the youth leader. I was chosen by the youth group. I didn't want to be, but it was like it
Word.
was
Yes.
from me from childhood. Even now, as a leader, where I am in church, or it's like it was you're being groomed, and that insecurity had to be pulled out of you.
Now,
So,
just to clarify, as you were talking about how your father pulled you to the side, and there's an image, and I don't know how we got that image, but most people think African fathers don't talk, especially to their daughters, or But I had a father exactly like that. He would beat me crazy. I mean, you've heard some stories, I mean, on this platform about the kind, he was very meticulous with
mhm,
punishment. My dad's punishment would take 2 weeks to execute. But there was always an explanation at the end where he sat you down and explained
right,
to you why he had to beat you or why
right,
he had to punish you. And
right.
then you got the lesson out of that. And I
Yes,
don't know why the rest of the world thinks that most African men don't talk. Let me tell you, we in Africa have some of the best emotionally mature men, especially the moment they become fathers.
that's
Thank
right.
God for fathers.
This third story, I'll make it short and sweet.
Yes,
Where my father really protected me, covered me,
yeah.
and it reached a point. My cousin Anna, she called me out. I was playing, and she's like, "Come here, you need to learn how to cook." I'm like, "Girl, I was playing. What do you mean cook?" So she insists. She's like, "You have to learn how to cook." I'm like, so I was crying, and I'm here using we call it a jiko, that
Hmm.
African ceramic. It's like a gas cooker, but
Right, 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 right.
so I'm there. We are making ugali,
Hmm.
and that's like the fufu for you guys.
Right.
And so it's water mixed with corn milk, and you just stir it until it becomes hard.
Hmm.
We are how many in the family? Seven plus
7.
Anna, eight plus mom and dad, nine, 10. I mean, first time person cooking. Make a small dish. But no, she's like, you can do it, you can do it. So she's holding the pot and helping me out, and I'm crying, I'm bawling, but
Oh.
she would not budge. And I
Hmm.
cooked. We were done, we ate. The next day she calls me. I'm like, I cooked yesterday. No, again. And I picked up,
I'm so
there you go.
sorry.
That's the jiko.
Yes, I wanted to time it up and then put it
Yeah.
up. But did you
So
want me to play that now before this you finish the story? And
I'll play again.
let me just preempt our audience that there's somebody shouting an amazing thing in the background, but this is just to show the what the ceramic pot looks like. It's just that this person is so ingenious with how they used this. So here you go. Just watch this.
Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Happy New Year!
My sister's great at lighting that thing. Jiko.
I
We
love
call her the propeller.
yes.
Her hands would just be swaying right over and over, and it would light in no time. So I'm here. My cousin is holding the pot, and I'm cooking because of the flame. And you
Mhm.
have to be quick at cooking. So she
Oh,
taught me how to cook day one. Right.
yeah.
She taught me how to cook day one, day two. After a week, she was like, you know what? You're going to cook on your
Uh-huh.
own. And I was like, I got this. And I remember cooking beef.
Mhm.
I forgot to put spices. I forgot to put tomatoes. I poured so much water, it was like boiled meat at the end.
Oh
And
my
I'm
God.
wondering, what did my cousin do? How this looks so good? What's wrong? So I served that meal, and my brothers laughed the whole night. And I know my cousin took that meal and went and revamped it, and it was
Mhm.
good. So that night, when I went to bed crying, my dad came and told me, tomorrow you and I will cook. And I was like, what? My dad was a great cook. My
Mhm.
brother. So the next day, my dad went and bought the food. We sat in the kitchen. He told me, you sit, watch me. And he explained what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I missed tomatoes. I missed the spices. And he's like, and also when he was telling me stories and I was laughing, he said, when you're cooking, you ought to be happy. This way, when you're happy, the food comes out happy. So he's like, what state were you when you're cooking yesterday? I
Oh,
said, outside. He's like, no wonder it was jacked up.
oh my God, this is so
So
amazing.
cooking and I'm laughing and he's showing me how to cook and I'm like, whoa, I can do that. And I went and I'm stirring up the food and I'm tasting it. Usually with our family, we were good at coming in to taste, but we don't want to help you cook.
Yeah, I remember.
So a neighbor walked in and he was the kind of person in his house, men didn't work in the kitchen or
Mhm.
didn't do housework. So he walked in, he came to see my dad, my parents, and he walked in, he saw dad and he was livid. And he shouted, he's like, why are you sitting down and letting your dad cook? What kind of a girl are you? My dad stood up and I was, me, I jumped up, I was ready to
Oh,
fight, and
God.
my dad held me back. And he looked at the guy and he had the wooden spoon he was cooking and he pointed at him and said, this is my house. I teach my children what I want to teach. And right now I'm teaching my daughter how to cook. It is my choice and you have no say. Whatever you came to do, mama is in there praying. Go talk to her. When you're done, get out. In the meantime, I'm spending time with my girl. And I was there. Yeah.
Oh my
I tell
God.
you, that healed me. Anything that I had issues of insecurity just went down the drain. The love of a father. We were seven in our family. My father was very quiet. He rarely said anything. He sat in his corner. He looked at someone when they're doing wrong, and then he does this.
Mm,
Like he points at you, like, look at that one. But he doesn't say it. So
wow.
to me, that was like, oh my God, did you just hear that? He stood up for me and he's spending time with me. My father loves me. He was the kind of person who'd stand outside by the door. He looks outside, people pass by, they see him and they'd shout, Africa! And he'd shout back, Oi! And that was it. He doesn't say.
Oh my God.
So to me, it was like, wow, this man has love for me. Sometimes we expect someone to talk, and not everybody has that love language.
Mhm.
His was action,
Yeah.
and that was for me. So right now, when I look back and I'm seeing my relationship with God, I look at him. It's easy for me to look at God as my heavenly father, as my daddy.
Yeah.
My biological dad loved me, protected me, cared for me, provided for me. Now I'm looking at, and he's now in heaven.
Yeah.
And yes, I miss those moments, even when he'd come to the city and he'd tell my elder sister, call my children in America. I just want to hear their voice. Oh my gosh. You're like, yeah, that's it. He
Yes.
hears your voice. It's like, okay, I got to go. Like, dude, you haven't even spoken or anything. No, he's dead.
Wow.
But now I look at my relationship with God and I'm like, wow, I can call him daddy because I have a relationship with him. He
Yes.
provides for me. He cares for me. He loves me. I mean, I am daddy's girl.
Girl.
It's so simple for me to relate to
Yeah.
that because I had that love, that one time with my dad. It
Yeah.
wasn't with anybody else. We were not on the table together. It was me and him. And now I can sit in my house and have that one-on-one with my heavenly father and I'll be like, daddy, I love you, I
Wow.
honor you. And you know what, because he's always providing for me, he cares for me, he takes care of me. And it's like,
I think now you're just
I'm
going
daddy.
into the preaching session now. And we have to put that on the other side. Oh God.
Yeah,
Listen, this
to
is
my younger self, I'm like, I'm daddy's girl because that sealed it for me. You
wow.
would not tell me anything. I wasn't insecure. I was like, I got this. You want to fight? You go ahead and fight. I don't have time for that. Yeah, that's on your own. Like, I know who I am.
Yes. Listen,
Yeah.
what an amazing, amazing time today. Because guys, again, I can't seem to convey the amount of the amount of time African fathers have poured into I'm sorry, Kendi, you're a riot. Welcome, by the way. Listen, Kendi,
I
welcome.
can make ugali and nyama.
Ryle,
I'm
welcome.
good. My cousin taught me how to make.
I know. Evan, welcome. I'm trying to get everyone in here. Abina is here, definitely. Lorraine, I
My
have
sis is there.
Ryle. Welcome. I am so glad everyone is here sharing in this amazing time of storytelling. And if I did forget, there's another person that is always here. She is one of our top fans, and I do want to get her. Um, where is she? Where is she? Pauline is here.
What?
I
Pauline
know,
Ondasi.
I
Oh my
know.
goodness. I miss Carolina.
Listen, Lorraine just ratted you out. She says that you make great fried fish too. So
That's right.
I have that food, and I have your dad to thank for. Listen,
And my
let's
cousin
tell
Anna.
our positive stories about our fathers and about our
Mm-hmm.
mothers. There is this notion that they think that because, well, at least some of the rest of the world, now they're growing and they're reading, so the rest of the world knows that Africa doesn't live on trees, and we
That's
don't
right.
chant things to ourselves instead of using words.
Right.
We have great parents back home.
Yes.
They
Yes.
instilled this sense of discipline in us that is
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous. And I
Yes.
am so grateful for sharing this time with you. Um, this is why you're so bubbly all the time. This joy that comes from your
I,
father. It is
So my father, we
amazing.
had, you
Yes.
think of it, even there are some teachers who, like my sister's teacher, who was an encourager and
Mhm.
pushed them to do well. In my class, we had teachers who tell you, you become a shoe shiner. And you're like,
God,
what? It
no.
really depends with who you
Who
are
you-
and how
Yes,
you are. And your friends who also tell you, no,
yes.
that's not who you are,
Yeah.
because we didn't become what they say.
Who what they
So
said.
I thank God for just
Right.
parents who love us and care for us and just tell you, no, 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 you're not that. You
Yes.
are more. You are great. You're powerful. You're mighty. You can do it. Yeah.
Hey, look at you go. Listen, Ezzy, thank you so much from Kenya. Kenya,
Oh my
stand
goodness. You ain't still
up. It's
together.
such an amazing support on this platform. Everyone from Ghana, from Nigeria, I truly appreciate you. From the UK, I'm always saying Russia. It's amazing how we have a lot of people from Russia, especially when we have those Q&As on Dear Daughter.
Mm,
We have a lot of those. So I truly appreciate you. I know some of you are silent, but thank you because you send emails and we get them and we know what you are to us. Thank you, everyone that is on here today. I truly appreciate you, and I thoroughly enjoyed today. I thoroughly enjoyed today.
enjoy being
Lauren
in your
says
presence.
Africa. Oh yeah,
Hey!
I'm gonna start talking. Oh yeah, I'm gonna start just
In our
chanting that
family,
with
even
you.
when we call each other, we're like,
Yes.
Africa!
Oh yeah. I am so grateful. We are transitioning slowly from Facebook just for this part. I call it Wirecast because I want to be fancy.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be slowly transitioning from Facebook into YouTube. So please go find us. It is called To My Younger Self on YouTube, and just subscribe. In the next couple of weeks, when we go live, is going to be just YouTube. So you have to get on
Awesome.
there to find us. And I'm going to put a link right down in the comment section
And
later.
it's every Tuesday that Baraka has someone
Tuesday.
interesting, someone powerful,
Yes,
someone
like I just
encouraging.
did.
You need to log in and listen. You'll hear stories about your childhood. You'll be like, yeah, that happened to me too.
Yes, that is so true. We are planning to build a tapestry of stories that run throughout all of Africa. So there's
Mm,
a lot of things going on in the background. And I am just grateful that God is giving us all these resources, natural resources from out of our motherland, and it's going to be amazing. So stay tuned.
awesome.
Keep your dials locked, or should I say your social media fingers on this dial, and you will not regret it. Guys, I appreciate you all just being here and hanging with us. Caro, I
Yes,
appreciate you. Thank you. I
you're
just
welcome.
had such a ball. We normally go for 30 minutes, but for you, I had
Oh
extra
my
10
God.
minutes for you. I
Thanks,
love
sis.
you
I
dearly.
love you so
I
much.
truly appreciate you. And guys, My name, as always, is Zoe Baraka. This has been To My Younger Self, coming to you live on the Dear Daughter platform. And do not forget, we have a Dear Daughter a longer version of Dear Daughter, which is a program where fathers talk to daughters.
Mm-hmm.
But this year, God has us going a different route. We are going to be talking about the strange men and women of the Bible. This month, we're going to be talking about Tamar, or um, as Americans call her, Tamar. I don't know where that comes from, but I have a
Pronounce your
Ryle,
vowels.
yes, I have Ryle Adam on the bill, and I have a pastor that I have had the honor of meeting, Pastor Teresa Lai from out of Ghana. You do not
Wow.
want to miss this. We're going to be going into the nitty gritty of Tamar and what God used her to do, and
Mm.
do not want to miss this. Speaking of Tamar, my beautiful friend Tamar sent me or gave me this mug, and I
Ooh.
am so joyful just drinking out of it. Tamar, thank you. I truly appreciate you. Thank you so much for seeing me in all of my colors. Once again, my name is Zoe Baraka. It has been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you this morning. I will see you next week, bright and early at 7:30. Bye-bye.
Bye.